When you sit down with a client, I mean, you have all of the exercise selection. What is like a loading volume for a week? Does it matter to you, guys, girls? Does it, like, how do we kind of differentiate volume?
So obviously with females,
and adding on to that, not just glute training, but how do you get the rest of your body involved in this?
Yep. So with the females, what I tend to do is I just do what I told you about earlier with the vertical, horizontal, and then I throw in there one upper body press and one upper body pull. Now the popular way for a lot of the strength coaches was you need to do a vertical and horizontal press and a vertical and horizontal pull. But if they're training 3 days a week, like doing 2 presses and 2 pulls, I don't think it's not necessary. It even can be counterproductive. Like you don't need to, like, doing like bench press and military press on day 1, and then day 2 doing like incline press and push-ups, and then you can just do 1 press and 1 pull. And if you're doing like chin-ups and inverted rows and things like that, these ladies will actually, they're used to, like, if they come from a body part split, and initially they'll be like, I'm used to doing so many more exercises. But I get them to where they're doing 1 chin-up, and then in 3 months they're doing 10 chin-ups. Some of my ladies do that. Not everyone, of course. That's very dependent on a lot of things, your physique and stuff. But their back gets more muscular from just doing 1 pull 3 or 4 times a week and 1 press, especially if you get them, like, push-ups for males are easy, but real strict push-ups for women is a good bench press assistance lift. Yeah. You know, I remember all I had like on the glute squad, we had like 6 to 8 ladies that trained with me twice a week, and I'm like, God, their bench press has stalled for like 2 straight months. No one's set a PR, and what am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna switch things up. I'm gonna just give them push-ups and incline press that month. Maybe I didn't even say 6 weeks. Coming back, like 2 of the 6 girls hit PRs their first session back, but then by the end of the next month, every girl had hit PRs. So that's the whole, I love the debate about specificity versus variety, but I'm a variety guy for injury prevention, and, you know, like, not, like, the joints can handle variety better than just loading one pattern over and over and over. So for a longevity standpoint, but also for like mortals like us, we tend to do better with with more variety. But then we can get carried away with variety to where it takes you away from your goal, you know, especially if it's strength related.
I mean, I tend to think with my own programming, and me and Anders train a lot these days, like, I think about everything in categories. Like you mentioned with the glutes, there's 3 main categories that you're hitting, and then within those categories, you have a variety of different exercises and methods that you can use within those very specific categories. So every workout I do, even if it's the same workout, all the exercises might be different. One day I might be doing front squats, the other day I might be doing back squats, and then the other day I might be doing, you know, bottom up front squats with chains, or like I can do so many different exercises to get that variety where psychologically it's much more entertaining for me to be able to not do the exact same exercise that I did last time, but I know that categorically I'm still hitting the same muscle groups, the same movement patterns, etc., and I'm doing it in a comprehensive way, but it's different every time, quote unquote. Yeah.
And I like that as your normal base. And then if you ever needed to, like, say Anders was like, I'm going to out bench press you 6 weeks from today.
Yeah, right. 6 weeks from today. I'm going on a cycle.
Put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
You could say, okay, now I'm going to.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
You heard of SARMs?
So you could then say, okay, I've got 6 weeks. You haven't been reaping all your specificity gains. You've been doing variety. So then you could say, I'm going to do bench press 2 or 3 times a week for the next 6 weeks. And then you're always leaving a little bit of room in the tank. But if you're always doing pure specificity, then you're not leaving any room for those gains once the time matters. That's why, powerlifters should have an off season and a competitive, training portion. So,
yeah, I think a lot of research says that just the more experienced an athlete is, variety is just better for them. When we're talking about longevity, it's like you can't just keep doing the same thing forever.
I don't know if I've seen research on that, but I think coaches would agree.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about coaching. There's a difference between getting athletes good at a sport versus so initially I think like the Olympic weightlifters and powerlifters made for the best coaches because they know how to coach the lifts the best, but you get carried away and you can make someone also. It's great when you work with high school kids. That's why when I hear some of these track and field people, coaches be like, weight training doesn't help. And I'm like, you freaking moron. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in the history of mankind, because you're only thinking about max like 100-meter sprint. We're talking about sports. And you take these high school kids and they take them during an off season. They don't even do any plyos or sprints, and you weight train them for 3 straight months. They come back and they're jumping 1 or 2 inches higher. Their broad jump is 12 to 16 inches further. They shaved a 0.1, and they're bigger and more muscular.
Yeah.
Their agility improved. Everything improved. Their rotational power improved. They're bigger, stronger, faster, more resilient. It works with everyone. But then you get the coaches that are too into their strength sport, and that can take away. Like if I remember my first article that got popular, I was trying to make a big entrance onto the scene. My first article, I need to tell it how it is.
9 reasons you're an idiot.
So I said like, I mentioned in there that Usain Bolt would be faster if he did hip thrusts. Typical cocky
Nice.
rookie, like younger coach comment. But I wanted to say to people,
We've all been there.
Yeah. And if I would have trained, if I would have trained Usain Bolt back then, I would have been like you. I would have hammered him with too many strength exercises. He wouldn't have been as fresh for his sprinting, and he would have gotten slower. It would have taken me a while to realize, oh crap, I'm doing this wrong. And then, now I would have to.
I saw your apology on T Nation. No, it didn't work. It wasn't there.
Well, so yeah, it was 2009. Yeah. But now that I'm more knowledgeable and also more comfortable as a scientist, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the best at everything. If I had a son that was like world-class sprinting, I'd send him off to some of my favorite track and field coaches. You guys train him. You know more about this than I do. But I'll train your daughter to have the greatest glutes and be a bikini competitor. You specialize.
They're like, you stay the fuck away.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that wasn't a good. But I'm excited to have this lab now because I can train some athletes now, and you got to be training athletes to develop systems,
Definitely.
And working with that population. So I'm excited to have this gym to be able to work with more people.
Yeah.